What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another video. As you can tell by that title and that thumbnail, this one is going to be a good one. This is Piper, and she has never been to a grooming salon before ever, so this one was pretty challenging. I will say that for sure. She was a little difficult, but nothing that I can't handle. She is very nervous about things around her face. You'll see she really freaks out for water, so I turned it down. Still really didn't help. In the video I'm telling her to calm down, but she's just splashing around like a little fish. So so essentially, when it comes to something like that, you kind of just have to get it done. You turn the water down and you just wet their face. There's really nothing you can do about that. Eventually they relax and they calm down, but you kind of just got to walk them through it. So as I stated, she has never been to a grooming salon before and never professionally groomed. So her hair is extremely long, but her mom wanted to bring her in for Thanksgiving so she can get a groom. She understood that she would have to be shaved pretty short, and that's what happened, as you'll continue to watch the video. Let me just say this: for people that are deciding to get puppies, it is very important that you take them to the grooming salon and not wait until they are 2 and 3 years old like this dog. Now granted, the owner is a bit older, so she has some trouble getting her to the grooming salon, so she was taking care of her on her own at home. So she would trim up her face, and she said she would brush her out, which I can tell because she wasn't that matted. She was mostly matted on her front legs, and I can understand because she doesn't like people to touch her front legs, so she gave me some troubles for that. But I wanted to make that statement because there are some people out there that don't bring their dog to the grooming salon until they are almost a year, if not 2 years, and the dog really struggles. So it's easier on them if you start them off at a young age. We typically recommend 8 weeks, which is 2 months. You can even push it out to 9 weeks or 10 weeks, but make sure you're starting them out young so they can get used to the process, so they can get a haircut when you're ready for them to get one, which is generally around 5 to 6 months. As you can see, she's gotten a little bit better. Well, what looks, for me, knowing how dogs can react, she's gotten a little better for rinsing around her face. She doesn't thrash around as much. She still thrashes around a bit, so she's not 100%, but she's gotten better because she's realizing that the water is not really killing her, but she still doesn't like it, so she's going to thrash around a bit, but she's not as bad as she was. Now, you're going to see I had to go in and wash her twice because when she came in, she smelled really bad. She had a really strong odor on her, and I couldn't really pinpoint what the odor was, but I knew I had to wash her twice because it was such a strong odor. And even with washing her twice and conditioning her, it didn't fully get rid of the scent, but it made it significantly lower. As you can see, I did sniff her head to kind of tell where her scent was, but I'm going back in to rewash her again the second time because she needed it. Now, if you have a dog that comes in for people who are trying to be a bather, or an owner who is looking to groom their own dogs at home, if your dog has a really foul scent on them, not skunks, I'll touch on that, but if your dog has a really foul scent on it, maybe he or she rolled in something outside or rolled in a dead animal outside, you want to scrub them twice. I generally don't like scrubbing them twice because I feel like it really strips their coat of oils and dries it out. But in this case, she needed to be scrubbed twice. But after I scrubbed her twice with the soap, I went in and reconditioned her, and I let the conditioner sit on her for about 10 minutes. You can't tell in the video because I had to cut a lot of that out, but I did let it sit on her for about 10 minutes just to kind of re-moisturize her coat, and it helped just a little bit. But because she has never been properly bathed at a professional setting before, her coat was already damaged, so I had to do what I could to save and help her skin for the coat that was going to grow back after her grooming appointment. She was such a nervous girl. She didn't want to stand. She didn't like the water too much, but she was so sweet, just very nervous. So I was trying to be gentle with her while she was, going through her first grooming experience. Now I'm going to go in with the conditioner on her. And I've said this in my last video, every dog needs a conditioner. No matter whether you feel like they do, they always do, because the shampoo that we use on them is so drying to their coat and their skin that they need a conditioner to go back in to re-moisturize that coat and their skin. Now our basic level conditioner, which is a lot of water basically, it's better than no conditioner at all. Now we were out of our basic level conditioner, so she actually got one of our upgraded conditioner, which is the Hemp's, and that is one of my favorite shampoo and conditioners that we have there. In my opinion, it's the best one. It's the most hydrating. It helps with matting, it helps with de-shedding, and it keeps the coat so nice and soft. During her drying process, I found a lot of dry skin on her, and I think that was because of the food that she is probably eating, as well as the lack of grooming experience she's had. So her skin was very dry. She had a lot of yeast on her skin, and sometimes yeast can be a form of bacteria growth on the skin, as well as a lot of oil, but her coat and her skin overall was dry, and I didn't get a chance to see that until her drying process. So I spoke with the mom and I told her moving forward we would do an exfoliating shampoo on her, which is going to help with, one, a lot of that yeast, and then also all of the dry flakes that she had on her. So this is where I'm noticing the most dry skin on her back, and she had it all up and down her back. She had a lot of bumps, flakes, yeast buildup, but this is where I'm seeing the most of it. And I wanted to get a good video, so I was able to show the pet parent so she can see what her skin looks like, and I am able to educate her on what she can do at home. Right here, I took the nozzle off so that I was able to dry her face and not have such a harsh nozzle on her face. But as you can see, she still didn't like it, but I was able to get it done. And one good thing about Yorkie hair is it dries really, really fast, even when the hair is a mile long like this dog here. And now we're on to the haircut and introducing her to the clippers because, again, this is her first time being groomed ever, and she's never experienced it before. So the first time introducing the clippers, it did not go well because she did not know what it sounded like. She didn't know how it felt. She didn't really know what to expect. So I had to get her used to it by simply holding her chin hair and then letting the clippers vibrate around her neck. It's a quicker tactic to get them used to the clippers. It's definitely effective, but if she were a puppy, I wouldn't be able to use this tactic on her because puppies, you have to introduce them slowly. And as you can see, she really didn't do well to the first introduction. I literally had to stop and just hug her, which is what you just saw. I had to hug her and just tell her that it's okay. Relax, calm down. And it took a couple tries, but eventually she let me get it done. But I spoke with the owner just to let her know she has to come back in 6 weeks just for a bath and trim, no full haircut, but just a cleanup so she can get used to the clippers, the vibrations, the sounds around her ears, around her face, and just so she can get used to me and build a bond with me and build trust. Like I said, it took a lot for this dog to actually trust me and let me get it done. And then I will say this is the quickest that a dog has ever trusted the process. But I think all of the coddling and consoling actually helped her to kind of understand that I wasn't trying to hurt her, just trying to help her feel better and more comfortable. But I did have to hook her up to our groomer's helper because she was trying to bite the clippers, and I didn't want her to get injured, bite the clippers and cut her tongue, cut her gum, or lose a tooth. So I just did what was safe for her. And this is where it got tricky, where she didn't want her front legs being shaved down. She really started thrashing for that. She was throwing herself off the front of the table. And like I said, for something like this, you kind of got to calm them down and just help them understand that you're not being injured. Like the whole time, I wish I could play the audio, but the whole time I'm just saying, Piper, it's okay. Piper, it's okay. Piper, it's okay. And one of my groomers on the other side was like, she's actually telling you it's not okay. We like to speak for the dogs, but I had to continue to just tell her that it's okay and for her to let me do it. And eventually it got done. She put up a fight, but it got done. And at the end, I believe she enjoyed how she looked and how she felt. I am doing a 5 blade on her body. That is what I could get under her mats because her mats were a little bit tighter around her front legs. The 5 was what I could get comfortably under the mats on all of her legs. Now I'm going to go back in with one guard comb in reverse just to kind of clean up the 5 blade. I love a reverse guard comb on a dog because I feel like it looks so clean. It doesn't leave any choppy marks. It doesn't leave any lines or any streaks. So if you are struggling with a blade on a dog and it is with the grain, try a guard comb in that equivalent length in reverse and see how it matches up. I guarantee you will love it. Now I'm doing the sanitary. Just to give a heads up, if you're ever learning to do the sanitary, never take the clippers directly over the butt. Dogs stick their butt out all the time, and that's the easiest way to cut the dog. So what I did was on top of the butt, I took the clipper up, but not across the butt, just at the top. And then on the sides, I went in the opposite direction on each side. And then under it, I went down. And that's the best way to clean up the sanitary, where you can try your best to avoid cutting the dog. Piper, after a while, I believe, got used to it, but I did have to have some little conversations where we looked face to face and just tell her it's okay. And then after I did it, I noticed she was a lot better. You know, I mean, she wasn't 100% because, again, this is her very first time being groomed in a professional setting at the age of like 2. So she did the best that she could with what was given to her. And sometimes with dogs like this, it can be frustrating for me as a groomer to deal with a dog that's constantly throwing itself off the table or thrashing around. But then I have to remember that this is their first time, not their 100th time. She has never been to a grooming salon before, and she's never experienced something like this before. So I kind of have to go at her pace. Now, she was trying to bite at the Dremel here, so I did have to put an e-collar on. But in that same token, I'm still just talking to her and coaxing her and telling her that it's okay. That was my store manager. He always comes at the best moments. He started to talk to me and she started thrashing around. He was like, yeah, I'll just come back. She did really well for the scissor work, but I also believe it was because it wasn't making a loud noise or vibrating on her legs, her feet, her head, her ears, and her face. So she actually did pretty good for the scissor work, as you'll see. So yes, I do consider this being good, given how she responded the first time I started doing her. So the constant sitting is not really a bad thing, but when I'm trying to scissor her front paws and she's sitting down and the tip of the shears are closer to her body, I do have to stand her back up. Now this part she was absolutely perfect for, and again I think it's because that was what the owner spent the most time with at home working with her, was her face. So she was perfect for brushing, perfect for scissoring. She gave me no issues. She wanted to lay down, so you'll see I let her lay down, but she was absolutely perfect for scissoring her face, and it was literally the best part of her grooming. I think she felt as well as I did. Right here, I'm spraying Chi on her face just to get rid of some of the fizz and the fuzzies while I scissor her face. Chi, the detangling spray, the finishing spray, that is the best spray to spray on a dog's face to kind of get that sheen and that shine and just kind of neaten up the face and give it what you're looking for the face and make it easier to scissor, comb, and brush through. I am going to end up taking a big bulk off of her face just because her body is so much shorter than her actual face, but the mom still kind of wants the ears left a bit longer, so I did leave some length on them, but I did neaten up the face and I took the face pretty tight just to kind of match up with her body so everything can grow back in evenly. And the mom set up an appointment for 6 weeks, and she understands not to scissor and hack at the face now, so we can keep that cute little face that she's going to get. she actually looked like she was really enjoying it. She was starting to close her eyes during the process of me scissoring her face. It was actually really adorable. When scissoring the face, to all my new groomers and people who are trying to groom that dog at home, be very, very careful of the tongue. If you cut the tongue, there's no way for that tongue to go back to normal, and it's really hard to get a dog's tongue to stop bleeding. I personally have never cut a tongue before, but I also try and hold their mouth shut. And dogs have a little jawbone, kind of like we do. It's in the shape of a V. Well, what I do is I hold my thumb under there just to keep the jawbone in place so they can't open their mouth and they can't stick their tongue out, so we're not cutting their tongue. When I trim a dog's ear, I generally, like what I'm doing now, is I'll hold the base of the ear, find where the tip of the ear is, and then I'll scissor there. A good way to kind of eyeball how long you want the ear is tip of the ear to the tip of the nose. If you're holding it there, you'll know how long the ear should be. But Mom still wanted her ears a little bit longer, so I kind of took them to the shape of her jawbone. And there you have it, Miss Piper's finished groomed. She's looking so cute. The haircut is not perfect and what I love, but she looks adorable and way better than she did when she first came in. Wouldn't you agree? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.